week's episode is brought to you by Tabletop Backer Party on Facebook, which is the largest board game crowdfunding group on this side of the internet. Hello everyone, welcome to I'd Back That Kickstarter with Gloryhound and
DrGloryhogg.
You sound really enthused. Let's see here. Okay, so we have people in the comments already. First off, we're like super excited to be back. I was a wreck. This holiday was just a train wreck.
Well, I want to
stuff.
answer a comment real quick. Yes, Ryan, we are actually on YouTube. So if you just want to listen, you definitely can.
Yeah, we are on. We do it on Twitch, on YouTube, and on Facebook. Yeah, everywhere. We try to hit up all the things, Ryan. But we're happy to see Peter in the comments and Battlecry and Ryan.
Man, Battlecry, I'll tell you, I don't even know who I am anymore. Like, we forgot like how to actually do this because when you get used to doing something every week, it gets like into a pattern. And then like this week, kind of like the new week started, and I was like, I probably should look at Kickstarters. Is that site still active?
Well,
and it is barely.
It's always active, just like
barely in January.
Barely in January,
waking
December.
Up after long winter snap.
Hopefully, in the next few weeks, we'll get some like a bunch of content coming in, guys. Hi, Marie. That's my mom. That's one of the reasons why we didn't stream. You all can tell her right now. No.
Yikes.
Thanks so much, Battlecry. We're so happy to be back. So happy to be back. It's like
it was definitely a long break, but a lot of different stuff happened. There was a death in her family on her side, and there was a death in Greg's family.
Absolutely.
And so it's been kind of a mess. Everyone's playing catch up and stuff, but we are back, and we've got there are actually some really interesting Kickstarters. So I was excited that some stuff launched because as of Monday, I was really nervous. I only had like 2 things on our list. I was like, here's the 2 things to look at.
We're like, ooh, these
but by
aren't looking so
Tuesday,
good.
at least the list spread out to like 10-ish, and it was like, okay, that's more average and more selections to go ahead and pick from there. But
yeah, it's always a shame whenever you run across a whole bunch and you're like, none of these look good. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's always tough, right? Because there's always something in there. There's always the potential that we can miss something. We try to hit all the really big, exciting ones so that we could talk to you about them, right? I mean, that's always the thing is we got to find those really exciting
and the diamonds
campaigns.
in the rough too. We want to get the diamonds in the rough.
Yeah, no, of course. We pick up some. We try to always pick up 1 or 2 that are a little bit smaller. That maybe didn't get noticed, but they don't have a big company behind them.
And thank you, Alan. Yeah, it's Greg. I don't know how long Greg's going to be out. He'll probably be out for
I don't think it'll be that long. I think he's more just catching up on work because he had to take some time off and everything.
Yeah.
So.
And we're glad to be back. Thanks for joining us too, Charity Board Gamer. We're super excited. So let's get started, okay? Excited. Okay, first up. Oh, our dog is yawning. Hold on here. Jeez. I almost forgot, guys. Sound. We need sound. That's helpful. Okay. First up, we have Deep Space Armada D6. Well, Deep Space D6 Armada. This is for 1 to 4 players. It is by Later Games. It's going to be about 60 to 90 minutes. Now, in this game, what you're going to be doing is you are going to be cooperatively with your friends going to all these different planets, and you're like fighting basically like I want to say the Evil Alliance, but it's the Federation. There we go.
Because it is co-op.
Federation. And I just want to say, like, why is every Federation like evil?
Like, it's part of it.
Evil federations.
I think like
once you get to space, there's always evil federations.
Well, once you kind of get together, you're kind of like, hey, you want to do some really evil stuff? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, well, we should form a federation. I think it's like a government classification, like.
If you're a federation, you can be legally evil.
Well, right. So, like, you can have a corporation, or you can have a sole owner proprietorship.
Right.
Like, you've got to pick what you are, and if you're evil, you have to select federation in order to get the legal status that you
Absolutely. It's like Federation LLC or something.
Yeah, it's definitely it's a tax benefit for sure. Yeah, you're going to save more taxes if you're a federation.
Alan, the Federation of Planets in Star Trek is an evil quotation mark.
Well, so that's funny because that's what I think of when you say Federation, because I was more of a Star Trek person, and so I'm always like, I don't think they were evil. There's some misguidance there. I mean, it's still ran by humans. We can only do so much.
We can only be like not so evil. Is that what you're saying?
We have a tendency, human beings in general just have a tendency to think like short term, and that's just part of our species. It's really hard to think long term, 200, 400, 600 years. Like, if we eradicate all the mosquitoes in China, that should be fine, right? And then you find out that, no, it's not fine. That is a major problem. But, we've done that over and over and over again throughout history. I've been watching a lot of science stuff.
And Jimmy
over
says
the
you
break.
could also choose to be the Empire. So, Dr.
That's true.
Gloryhogg, what were your first impressions of this game?
So, space isn't my normal jam.
Right.
But I was taking a look at it and watching the different parts of the videos, right? Because he does break it out into 3 different videos, kind of explaining the different things you do. I did like the idea that when you recruit a crew member, you get an extra dice.
Yes.
And when you upgrade something, you've got this kind of dual-layered board, and you put your upgrade card in there, and that changes like your weapons. And then when you fight, like a whole different thing happens. Like you're rolling dice, but it's not just like I'm rolling my dice versus that dice. It's more like you take your full turn and you're trying to accomplish something, then they take their full turn, and then they can hit specific parts of your ship.
Right.
And you keep going back and forth until either all their ships are destroyed or until you completely lose your hull. And so it was actually the fighting. Dice fighting usually can be kind of boring or a little bit randomized. I like that there was multiple rolls, which helps you kind of mitigate that. Right, because the more you're rolling, I feel like the less luck is involved. Versus if you're just rolling once, it's just all luck. You're like, I hope I did something good.
Right.
If you're rolling multiple times, you get to kind of manipulate the dice a little bit more.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I totally understand that. I think that I do not enjoy dice rolling games.
In general,
as a whole, pretty much. I don't enjoy dice rolling games. With this one here, that was the main thing that I don't think I enjoyed as much was the dice rolling in this. And I wish it would have been more of like at least you roll the dice and then you choose which ones you want to re-roll and re-roll again. And then once you get to that, then you get then you get one final thing where like, okay, these are my actions I'm going to carry out with these dice, and then the other ships are going to carry out their actions with their dice, and then it's not like a back and forth, because I don't know how long that back and forth is going to take here on combat.
That's a very good point. What you're talking about more is like dice placement, because you enjoy dice placement.
I
where you
really
roll
enjoy
and then
dice
you choose
placement.
Which dice you place. Or
and
like a roll and write, where you roll your dice and choose what you want to do with them. Right. This style is a little bit different, but when you're doing your missions, I mean, you're trying to get, like, say, 2 engineers. You're going to roll, and if you get an engineer, great. And then the next time you roll and you don't, you're like, oh, no, I have to either waste a dice in order to roll again, or if you've got, like, a medic, then you get to re-roll again for free without, like, having to get rid of a dice. But it's kind of like you lose dice as you go along by re-rolling.
Right. And we have, shiny. It's a guilty sin for most terrestrian animals. I totally agree with that. We love shiny things, and if it's shiny, we want them.
Hey, birds like shiny things, too.
Well, birds are also very smart, so maybe just, it's a compelling thing for smart people. I don't know. Andrew says, oh, you sunk my space battleship.
Yeah, but I did have a question about the combat, right? So this is co-op. They didn't show in a way that I could see where
you had the cooperative thing on how it was.
You fight together, or how you would mitigate all that time it would take for somebody else to fight a ship while you're just kind of waiting.
And you can choose.
Because it could take a little bit of time. It won't take an hour, but it might take 10 minutes, and that sometimes is like killer.
Well, and isn't it where you can choose where if you're going to different planets? Because you don't have to be on the same planet at the same time. Yeah.
But sometimes it's good to actually, kind of join forces. I mean, that's why we claim the Federation.
That's why we have the coalition of mostly aligned planets.
Semi-aligned
planets.
We can't even agree on our name.
That was the main thing that I saw, was that combat system. I really enjoy the fact that you are basically building your ship in this game and you're building your crew. Yeah. That is fantastic. Like, if you want to go to a planet and start upgrading things and picking out crew members and stuff and making your ship better and getting different dice, I love that part about this game so much. Like, it makes it so it feels like, what is that? Like Firefly-ish, you land on a random planet and then you're like, all right, now we're going to collect these people, and you get your gang together.
Well, I think it's almost more like Expanse, where you've got like that one really crack engineer that's just like hacking your ship like constantly, where you're like, this shouldn't be able to do this. She's like, hold on. And then like, you're flying through a donut. I don't know. Like, it's that ability to kind of modify your ship on the go. And that's what this kind of seems like. Plus, this had really cool ship names.
It did have really cool ship names.
Freya, Loki, Hades. I was pretty down with that.
All the bad guy ships. And I was reading in the instructions, they are going to have scenarios. That was my other thing. I was like, well, as I'm going through all this, I'm like, this is such a neat system to go through and be able to get people and upgrade your ships and go to all these different planets. I was like, I want scenarios. And not only do I want scenarios, like, I want, like, pickup and delivery things happening. Like, I wish that they had an example. I didn't see an example of the scenarios.
Well, it is still supposed to be like single games, though. They're supposed to be individual games. It's not like a legacy or anything like that. But I think there might be some scenarios. And I know people were asking they wanted more.
Right.
Like they wanted more of a campaign or something.
And that would be amazing. I think that would really make this game super exciting with something like that, because it's fun to play a one-off game and either to teach people one-off games and stuff like that, but it's like this game has the basis of having that scenario gameplay that would just like make it go further, I think.
Well, I feel like all my games should have at least 150 hours worth of gameplay in them for the 4 times I play them a year. I think that's important. I want to know that when I get a game, that there's more gameplay in there than I have years left in my life.
Or just
right?
like, well,
so
I
that
mean,
when I die, my kids can pick up from where I left, and they can continue the campaign after me, and then it'll be a true legacy of my kids playing, their kids playing, and then eventually 4 or 5 generations down from now, we'll have like the best players because they've been playing this game for generations. Tainted Grail for 5 generations, and hopefully like the 5th or 6th generation will finally complete it, and they'll be like, I've finally fulfilled my legacy. And then, you know, like, I don't know, I'll rise from the dead or something.
They like put the game down on your like burial site, and
they're
like, it's been fulfilled.
Yeah, then they'll like they'll throw like a handful of dirt on it and put like a rose on there or something.
Some chits and dice like on there.
Yeah. There you go. They'll roll one like they're like, this is for
roll one out for the homies.
This is for my great pops in the sky. All 6s. That's an ultimate. I hope they'll do it with dice thrown.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
Dr. Gloryhogg rolled his final
right?
ultimate and has gone to Valhalla. You know, like some good stuff in there. I mean, you need a lot of gameplay.
Well,
but I can see what you're saying though. You wish that there was a little bit more integration and stuff. That's kind of what made the crew fun, is that there
tweaks it.
Kind of you're doing different things as you're going up, and there's like reasons for it.
It tweaks it a little bit where, okay, you're playing this game cooperatively against everybody, but why can't you also have like a space race where you traveled X amount of planets as fast as you can, and like sometimes you get interrupted by people or something? Or why can't you have like a pick up and delivery where you need to quickly pick these up and then bring them to a planet? Or you know what I'm saying?
Semi-sentient alien species come involved. Or why don't we find a new thing on Titan and it ends up being this proto-molecule?
Right, but maybe that's like...
Sorry, are you talking about Expanse again? I thought you were talking about Expanse.
Well,
you want this epic space adventure, but this is like a $50
it's set up
game.
Though to be like the mechanics of this is set up to be an epic space adventure, and I hope that they have enough scenarios with it to bring that along, you know, and I don't see why they couldn't in the future, you know.
See, Jimmy's right. So you think about it, if you did like a mausoleum style and you had like a raised crypt, that could be a game table, right? It could have like the lip around it and everything and padding. So like your kids and your kids' kids could all come and they would game on your mausoleum tomb.
Oh, there you go. Then you get the whole family together again.
And then they could have like their dice and they're like, by the luck of my grandfather and my ancestors, may this be an ultimate. And then they roll the dice.
Oh my gosh, this turned out so morbid. So, yeah, Jimmy said, that's it. I'm kickstarting gamer headstones, built-in dice towers, rolling trays, etc.
Yeah, I think this is where we're going.
Like the rolling dice tower would be like by broken token. They'd like have them on there where you could have like it built up on a tier. So you put the dice in, they go down all these different paths.
I crit for you, Dad.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Lots of tokens and pieces. There's a risk for token fatigue.
I don't know. Does this one have as many tokens? I think the next game we're talking about has more tokens.
You think so?
Because it's like a bag builder.
It has to because it is a bag builder.
Yeah. So this one has a decent amount of tokens, right? But it's mostly dice.
Okay.
This is gonna feel like Dice Masters by the time you're done. Where you're
That's what I was thinking. It's very Dice Masters. What is that? Quarriors. Yeah, the Quarriors is the other one I was thinking of.
Dice Masters. I love Quarriors.
This is like a Space Quarriors almost in a way, except like more upgrading and stuff like that. Like.
Right. I'm at the point though now where I feel like Warriors fits in that same kind of niche as like Hero, as like Dice Masters, and also kind of like with the same niche of. I'm
pretty sure that they took that from I don't know.
No, they did.
Yeah,
it's both WizKids, but it fits in a niche with some other kind of like dice rolling, dice upgrading games that I have now. So I'm like, man.
So
which one do I keep?
With this one here, this is $43. No, I'm sorry, $48 for the base on this here, and we don't have Greg here to say, well, I'm not super interested in cooperative games and stuff like that.
That's
so
true. He's not yet.
It is a cooperative game, which may turn some people off.
I was gonna say, well, we played a co-op game with him, but no, we really haven't. Besides, like the Crew is like the only one I can think of, which is like so fast.
Or like the game or something simple like that. So, Dr. Gloryhogg, would you back this game?
I would put this as a super strong maybe.
Super strong maybe. Okay.
So I am tempted to back this. I think there's a different game on this list that I want more.
Okay.
And I feel like they'll both kind of be.
They're a little similar.
similar theme at least, which for me theme is really important, and I just kind of feel like I'm going to go for one over the other one. That's
in the comments, I want to know why you guys would or would not back this game, and if you guys are actually currently backing it or not. Because for me, well, everybody knows I like space games right now. I don't know. I say it all the time. I love space games. I would back every single space game I could. Yeah, because I love the theme.
Everyone with a solo, at least, because she would need to play them by herself.
The only thing that is holding me back from this game is just the fact that I don't like dice rolling games.
Right. Well, you like space games the way I like Western games. You know, so it's like your love of space games is actually equal to your hate of Western games. Even though you've only played, like, maybe a Western game. I think you played, like, what, Flick 'em Up once or something?
But Flick 'em Up is a good game, and that one's a perfect Western game. Is Flick 'em Up right there.
It, right?
That's
like
it.
You've not really even played a Western game.
That's the only
you just know that you hate them just by knowledge. And I played a lot of space games. I just prefer just different themes overall. But it's like Wingspan. I don't like birds in particular, and I wasn't excited to play it, but I played it, and then I still enjoyed the game. Like, theme doesn't completely throw me off, but, you know, there's some themes that I'm more willing to risk on, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm more willing to throw my money at a Western game that's on here that I'm iffy about than I am like a space game.
Really? Okay, so Peter's saying, this is tempting. I like the anesthetic, and I totally agree with you. This is insanely tempeh for me.
Very tempeh.
I would like to eat it. It's delicious. So
it's fried. It's good. Slightly fried.
No, this would have been, I think, an instant back for me with having a little bit of scenario in there and then having the gameplay and stuff if it wasn't dice rolling, period. So really, that's the only thing stopping me from backing this game because I think it looks really great. And Alan says, not backed yet. Okay on the theme, like the design and mechanics, and I do like dice rolling. So Alan, why haven't you backed it yet on this, you know?
I don't know if
just because of the okay theme or
I don't know if it builds that excitement. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it looks interesting, but I don't know if the excitement level's there. Like, that kind of, we've gotten used to, I mean, you guys know.
The hype train.
Yeah, like a lot of hype especially from Kickstarter games, where you're just, like, super excited about. I feel like Warp's Edge gives me more of that hype feeling. Yeah.
Well, you also have two different companies going at it, though, too, with two different media marketing campaigns and stuff and money behind them, you know? Yeah. Anesthetic? Did I say anesthetic?
She said tempeh earlier, so she's like, it is very tempeh.
I'm hungry and also just need to be relaxed, so.
That's how you relax?
This is the night. Okay, so because I've been playing games, so I didn't do a full research. Oh, okay, lack of hype too, yeah. So.
That's good, Alan. You have to tell us what games you've been playing.
Oh, and Marie says, I like the excitement.
And that's why you broke both your arms. A little bit less excitement.
Too excited. We need less excitement from you.
Marie, calm the excitement down. You wouldn't be in cast right now if you were a little bit less excitable. I'm just going to say.
Yes, and Alan, we're totally going to do that. We got to go to Snakes and Lattes. It's going to be awesome. Okay. So I'm not going to be backing this game, but if this did not have dice rolling in it, I'd be in 100%. I love the look of it. I love the feel of it. I like that you're basically building your gang, and it's like a heist sort of thing against a federation. It's very Star Wars. That's what I felt like this was. Very, very Star Wars. And, well, I like Star Wars. So, I mean, that's that. I like Star Wars.
I didn't hear anything you said. I've been trying to wrestle this cat who's just convinced that she should not go over
She's a superstar. She needs to be all up in the camera's face.
You are the reason we closed the door.
How she does it. Next up, we have Warp's Edge. This is by Renegade Game Studio. This is for a party of one only, and it's going to last about 30 to 45 minutes. Now, Warp's Edge is a bag-building space game, which is really interesting, and I love the fact, okay, this game has some really interesting points. One, you're going to be reading a little novella that comes with this game at the beginning of it, getting you like into the mood and setting.
Yeah.
Two, this is all about having a warp drive that sends you back in time. So you go through and you fight all these people, and then you get to go back in time and then try this again. And I believe you get like 6 times or something like that you get to go through it before you hopefully complete it or you fail at this mission. And you're kind of like a lone guy that got cut off in space from everybody else.
Rookie,
and yeah, you're just floating through trying to survive and get like blast that mothership on this. And they have several motherships.
Blast that mothership.
Blast that mothership. That sounds like a
I
know you
cursing.
Mothership.
You mothershipping.
So, Dr. Gloryhogg, what were your first impressions?
Yeah, so this one actually, well, first impressions was Renegade. I like Renegade. I like the quality of product they put out in general. with most of their games. They always look very pleasing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The theme, I wasn't like, obviously, like I said, space theme isn't like my first go-to, but it really works in this because the vastness of space. I could tell you guys this really long story about one time I got lost when I was in the Army. It's a very long story, though. But being alone, like truly, truly alone, and feeling like you're alone and that you're not going to find anybody, that is a very humbling experience. And the idea of this guy just being lost out there and then coming across the enemy is very interesting to me.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of bag building. Like, I mean, I've played some bag building games. I like bag building, but usually they end kind of quickly. And then it's Scott Alms, and I've really enjoyed most of his games. I can't honestly say I played every single one of them, but the ones I have played, which is mostly the Tiny Epic, that's what got us into Kickstarter. That was kind of like our entryway, was meeting Michael Coe, Gambling Games, talking about Tiny Epic Kingdoms. I played it at my local game store. I played it at a local convention. Then I was like, let's go check out Kickstarter. She got on there, and then now we're broke.
So Ryan Nicholas says, quick play of Deep Space D-6. So I'm backing to support the designer. I totally dig that. You know, they're not a super, super well-known company, I think.
They've got like 9 campaigns, I believe.
Yeah.
Total. I mean, and you never know how many of those are like restarts or whatever.
Ryan's
but
also backing Warp's Edge because he loves space games. So I'm down with that.
You support that. I support your extra support.
Right? And Jimmy says, see, looks cool. I already clicked on the ad for this one here we're talking about, the Warp's Edge, for it today. However, not interested because it's a single player.
I get that.
And I'm wondering
my general case.
If this particular game, because I think they hit their funding. Yeah, they hit their funding goal, and there are quite a few upgrades into it.
Yeah,
but
they've unlocked some things.
I wonder how much revenue they're missing because it is single player. And it sounds like they're going to go down a single player game line for these, you know?
Yeah, they have, I guess. Yeah, it's like their single player hero, I think is what it's called.
I tell you what, though, this whole novella of having a novella before the campaign or going through and the novella and picking things and having it change parts of your gameplay. I've heard of this from another company too, and I have to say I am like 1,000 times excited to play through a game with a novella and have choices that you make in the game or novella that change things. Yeah, that affect each other. And for a single player game and stuff like that, I think that is an excellent way to add something more to that single player game and get you excited about doing it on your own, because you don't read books necessarily with other people. I don't sit down here with you and read this book with you and stuff, or choose your own adventure book.
They say that I will get better at reading if you read to me.
Oh, yeah?
I'm actually the fast reader in the family. I finish books super fast. But, yeah, no,
that's
super
interesting.
I see what you're saying, because just paying $35 for a game you just play yourself, I could see how that's not something that would normally appeal to me.
Right.
But that kind of legacy-esque idea of, like, this changes this, or I guess more involved, and then having a good theme behind it and having, like, the right theme behind it, I think is really important. If this was just set anywhere else, it might not be as interesting. Without the book, it's going to be less interesting. Even, like, the little book in Dice Throne was really interesting, like, the idea behind it. And you're like, oh, wow, we're trying to fight the Mad Barbarian King. Like, okay, that's cool, or the Mad King. Like, that little bit of extra kind of really helps. I really like it when they incorporate a little bit of a story, so you don't end up feeling like, I push this cube over here. That gets me 3 points.
The art in this
gets boring.
Is, like, super hot, too, guys. Like,
so hot.
Art is
that art
on
is so
fire.
Hot right now.
I love it. I love the look of the ships. I love the little they're double-sided boards with the inlay, so you can go ahead and put your little pieces in there and stuff.
How will I sleeve it though?
So
How will I
pretty.
sleeve
It's
these?
so pretty, guys. Oh, I'm loving this game so much.
Have you seen the $50 pledge yet?
I have not. What's the $50 pledge?
It's
okay.
So
hello, Aussie gamer, or Aussie solo gamer. See, this is his jam right here. This is Aussie's jam.
Yeah, he has to. Aussie has to go ahead and back this one. It's literally in the name. If you don't back this solo game, it's like, who are you anymore?
All right, so we have Warp's Edge solo. Then we have, what is this? The expansion that comes with it for $50. Oh, yeah, and then the playmat, because the playmat looks amazing too.
Thing.
And the token upgrade pack, which I'm down for the token upgrade pack.
Yeah, at first I was thinking, oh, this is cool because we can get it for cheap. And then I was like, but that playmat and upgrading the tokens a little bit more.
Okay, and Gilbert says, I cannot see Funky Alternative Universe Michael Jackson from Thriller on that center car.
Okay, I could see that.
That's excellent. That would be fantastic.
But think about it. In an alternate universe, Michael Jackson could have been
That's
like
right.
a space pilot.
There you go.
He was the right build for it. You need to be small to get in those ships, is what I'm saying. You'd be limber in space. He already did the moonwalk. Okay, I'm done.
So bad, Dr. Gloryhogg. Overall, I was not a solo gamer until I think I started playing some roll and writes on my own, and then I did Marquee.
That makes sense.
And I have to say, I'm kind of down with solo rights. Solo rights. I am all over the place today. I am
like as bad
super
as
down.
Cat is.
Yeah, for the solo gameplay because it's almost kind of like relaxing. You get to like sit down with yourself and like you get to do something for yourself and kind of play this little game and stuff. And then I like showing it off to my spouse and being like, look how good I did, or can you believe this happened? And I don't think I would have backed this particular game before because it was a solo game. But since I've had that experience of doing the solo gaming more now, I'm all in for this. I'm all in.
I am of the mindset now where it's important to have a diverse collection, right? Because like our collection's pretty full. We've got the 5x5 Calyx is full. The other 5x5 Calyx is full. The closet, it's full. We got a lot of games, right? I like to have games that serve different purposes. And it's nice to have one or two that are just distinctly made for like one player because it's going to just be optimized for that one player. So I think it's fun to have like one or two. And this is a good game. Like, for example, I heard a rumor that somebody might be going to PAX East. This is a game you could put, I mean, I don't know how big the footprint is on this game, but this is something you can maybe take and play on the plane or something.
Right.
And if it takes 60 to 90 minutes, your plane trip will go a lot faster than you would if you were just trying to like,
That's very true.
Just trying to ride without any kind of entertainment.
Yeah. I don't think the Facebook comments are popping up anymore. Oh, no. That's no good. We'll head on over to Facebook. Thank you so much for letting us know, Alan. So, Charity Board Gamer says Sagrada Solo is so fun. I have not played Sagrada Solo, but we're going to have to check that out. And Aussie says the only issue with solo gaming is that the damn alpha gamer.
I think my biggest issue with solo gaming is if I lose, because then I'm like...
You're so mad at yourself. Well, all you have to do is blame yourself at that point.
Well, right, exactly. And then also you can't really, like, if you lose when you're playing a solo game, you're like, I could have just, like, not taken that token, and I would have probably won then. And then you're like, man, I don't know. It's rough. It's rough. With a co-op game...
You beat yourself up.
Yeah, sometimes in a co-op game, I'll get to the point where I'm like... hey, so we did that thing wrong, but let's just move forward. But with the solo game, I feel like I have to punish myself fully if I mess something up. So I'm like, no, I'll punish myself now.
No.
And I know it's worse now than if I would have had it happen 2 turns ago. But no, I'm going to discard 3 cards.
Such a terrible person.
Yeah, because I
so bad.
Can't win this thing by cheating, man. I can't win it by cheating.
And although these are 2 space games, I'm kind of glad that they're not a competing space game because one is totally cooperative, one's totally solo. There's no way to compare those 2 things really, other than the fact that they're both space games.
Yeah.
Like, so they're 2 completely different things, and I like that. That's good.
Yeah, and I like the theme of this one. It does seem like it's a very interesting idea of being kind of like stuck out there and kind of have like a Time Stories vibe where you might do some warping, and yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
That was the other thing, yeah. So going through, and I didn't explain exactly everything in the game that was happening. Going through, you're going to be like fighting ships, and then whenever you fight those ships, you get tokens to add to your bag, and that's going to build your bag as you go along those 6 turns in order to get through everything and then hit the mother ship on that. What do you think about that? That's a really interesting theme that I've seen other people try to do with like going back in time and doing things certain ways, you know? And other than maybe like a Time Stories sort of thing, I don't think it's been carried out super well.
It's difficult to do. It's a hard process to do, I think. But if it's done right, it can be a lot of fun.
I think this is done right. And the fact that, like, it's very important for you to be collecting those tokens because you're going to be using them in the future. Like, it just fit together so well. I was like, oh, my God, how has nobody done this before as a bag builder? Like, that's a perfect sort of theme to go with that bag builder because that makes sense. You're collecting those things to go back in the future and then use them. Does that make sense?
It does.
It does.
It does.
All right. I'm backing this game. I want to go all in, but I don't know if I need another playmat rolling around the house, but I do want the tokens, guys.
Yeah,
I want the tokens. And, guys, we need more people to back this because I want this right here. Right here. This custom token tray with overlay. I'm just telling you right now, I need this, guys. 28K. We need to hit this.
With the way you're manipulating cards and stuff like this with solo games, I like the idea of it because the only issue I had with Fleet, and this Fleet, the dice game playing it solo, is I was playing it at work and I was trying to rush because I was trying to do it on my lunch break, right? Is trying to keep track of like that kind of AI that's built into it can get to be a lot where I'm like, wait, did I forget I could have done something on my turn while I was too busy trying to figure out that thing? And I did keep getting interrupted and stuff. I think when you've got a playmat, that really helps you kind of keep everything organized and going so that you're not like all messed up.
Wasn't the $50 sold out? Oh, I don't know. I'll have to go back and check.
Heather, you better be wrong.
I know, right? And then it's $140 away. You'll get it. Yes. Okay, that's good. When I checked earlier, it was a little bit further away. So I think they opened up another one and stuff.
Momentum.
Yeah.
And this just popped up on Tuesday, so that's not bad.
No, not bad at all. And then this is the second in the Hero series, I believe.
I
have Proving Grounds, which is the first one. Go all in. Okay, I haven't played Proving Grounds. I'm going to go check that one out now because I'm interested now. Let's see here.
Oh, we need to calm down. Don't get all solo games this month. So for the month of or for the year of 2020, she's just gonna get all solo games. And I'm gonna move out, I guess. I don't know. I'll just play Skyrim.
And then that's it.
Yeah. What happened to your marriage? Solo games.
All right.
She found that she was just better at them by herself.
So I'd back that.
DrGloryhogg. Yeah, I would definitely back this.
You definitely back that one as well.
This is
okay.
my favorite one.
All right. And then next up, ooh, sorry, I didn't mean to get you guys all sick rolling up like that. We have is Throne of Allegoria.
Mm-hmm.
And this is by Game Brewer. And this one is actually canceled. Funding canceled today.
This morning.
Yeah. So should I play the video? And while we talk about it, I'll play the video while we talk about it.
You could potentially read the update of why they canceled it. Was kind of interesting.
Oh, did we want to read the update then first?
Yeah.
Okay, because I know when I first saw this morning, I was pulling it up.
This is the one you were excited about.
Well, and I didn't realize it was canceled until you came back and told me. I was like, "What? I thought I was just looking at that game. Like,
yeah, like
what happened?"
Like I think I looked at it about an hour before the show started, and I was like, "Yep, it's canceled."
Yeah, so I didn't even get to see why it was canceled because this
one is actually not going to be back.
Oh,
if
no.
If you read the if you read the update, Alan, they said this is final. So the idea basically, I guess it's gonna be really hard for them all to read and everything. The idea behind it basically is that Game Brewer, it's got about 7 people in the corporation and stuff, and they were planning on having between, I think it was like 1,000 to 1,500 backers.
Yeah.
At the price range they set in order for it to actually break even and be successful.
Yeah.
And they were trying not to really have a bunch to sell afterwards. But based off the way they were trending, they're like, we're going to hit like 500, 600-ish, and that's not enough to support our team and actually print this. Because they set it super aggressively low to, entice buyers.
Entice people to
and then they
purchase
set the funding goal low to entice people so that you can say, we're back to within the first 48 hours, which is important. It is important, and I get that. And I know why companies do that.
Oh, absolutely.
But as a backer, from the backer perspective, not talking to the companies directly, it is upsetting when you see something that's about to fund, and then they cancel it, and you're like, what? Well, this was going to fund. This was only like 4,000 or 6,000 away, I think, from funding. It was close to funding already, and it's only been open since like, I don't know, I think Monday or something. Like it hasn't been going that long. So based off of the projections, it would have funded off of their goal that they posted, but their goal wasn't like 100,000 like it should have been. And I get why they didn't do it. But how does that make you feel?
Okay, well, first off, this was, I thought, already produced in Germany and stuff like that, right?
So yeah, this is a reprint and an upgrade. Like it was the reason why it's on our list is
Upgraded
because
components.
it was a Kickstarter like exclusive kind of upgrade type of situation.
And it wasn't available. Like this game isn't available, I thought, in the US.
I think you can get it from BGG, but
really
they might be getting it from Germany or something.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I don't particularly like those campaign manipulations. Oh, that's kind of what we were going to go with on this a little bit because I was genuinely excited about this game.
Yeah,
I love the bidding process in this. I loved the fact that, you were going to be going through on the board and stuff and sending out spies and everything. So I was really excited about this game. But yeah, the campaign manipulations with everything, I understand why they have to do it because they're trying to, if a Kickstarter does not meet their funding super early or does not do super well in the beginning,
it slows down momentum big time.
Definitely slows down momentum. Like if you're looking at all of the trajectories and everything like that, and there's like all this graphing and stuff that they have on Kickstarter whenever you're running the campaign and stuff, and the slowdown is huge. Like it is insane how much a Kickstarter slows down after that first week. Like you have to be all over the Kickstarter and promoting it everywhere in order to keep any sort of steady numbers for that.
It's like
you know?
any statistics graph, right? It starts off like super high, and then it drops down during the middle, and then you'll get some more momentum towards the end as you're saying, like, hey, it's the last 48 hours to back and stuff like that.
Right.
So all your activity kind of happens at the beginning and end, which is why all the different game companies are really trying to manipulate how long they want to keep their campaign open. Because it used to be standard to be 30 days or more.
Yeah.
And now, if you notice, a lot of them are doing the 21-day campaigns, which isn't even a full month, which doesn't give everybody the opportunity to even get a paycheck in before the campaign ends. But the idea is that it builds more FOMO because it's short and you've got to get in while you can.
Right. So Alan and Battlecry, I mean, Battlecry saying, you know, this would make me shy away from the company. And Alan's like, I don't particularly like those campaign manipulations. Everybody's doing them. Everybody.
A lot of people. I wouldn't say everybody, but the vast majority probably are doing it to some degree.
At
but you don't know how much.
At least 3/4 of companies, though, are doing this.
Right, but you don't know how much they're shortchanging themselves. They might be like, they might set their goal for 80,000, but really need 100,000. That's not that big of a deal. But if you set your campaign at like 50,000, but you really need like 100,000, that's just like, yeah, that's just bad marketing. That makes it look like you're going to produce a game that you're not going to be able to produce unless you double what your goal is. And I think it's too much. And I think that's the issue because they were trying to sell 2,000 copies.
Yeah.
And they're hoping with at least 1,500 through Kickstarter, and they were going to hit 500-600. And they're like, yeah, we can't do that. And so I get their point. And they dropped $25,000 promoting it, getting it ready, all that kind of stuff, or maybe buying the license, I'm not sure. And they're going to eat all that. They're going to lose all that money. But it's very frustrating if you're backing them and you see it getting up there, and then like right before it's about to fund, they're like, and we cancel. And you're like, what? I was excited for this, and now it's just gone?
Yeah.
And yes, you didn't technically lose any money or anything, but still, it's very frustrating. Like, I know that the vast majority of the comments are people saying, like, I'm not backing from these people again.
Everybody loses in this when they're not going to put it back up, too, because gamers are excited for it, and it going back up. The people who devoted all that time to making all of the product and pieces and how it would look and how it's put together and
any upgrades, licensing, all that's lost.
Everything is lost on that, and that's sad. So Alan's saying, yeah, I get why, but it's chasing the type of insta-buy backer, whereas I'm a research type of backer, right? Yeah. You have to be a research backer in order not to get duped in this day and age on Kickstarter, period.
There's too much. It was one thing to insta-back when there was like, 5 campaigns a month, but now that there's like 20 campaigns a day, you have to research a little bit more. Which is why we started this show in the first place.
Well, absolutely.
It was a lot easier when we first started looking at Kickstarters. It was like, oh, I'm interested in that one and that one, back.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, we're going to see a big, huge Gloomhaven style game released at least like every other week. Like, you need to do research on, is this one good? Is this one I want to get? Is this not? You see 100 different rolling rights. You see like a lot of trends in Kickstarter, and you don't want to just back the first one you see and then see something much better or more appealing come along later.
Right. And, good to hear. So, I like the fact that we have our show and that we get comments from everybody on the show because the market is so big on Kickstarter now. Sometimes there are things that either we miss or maybe you guys have missed and then we get to bring up, or, I mean, it becomes a collective experience. And I really enjoy the collective experience because Kickstarter is so big now. You know, we have people in the community that...
Well, it's crowdsourcing.
Yeah, give us information. Involved. Exactly. And I think that's the way it should be. You know, like, they're playing their game on the Kickstarter market. We can play our own game and help each other out in all of these decisions that we're coming to, you know?
I agree.
That's important. So let's see here. The other issue, Alan says, is with EB, is you usually get a big drop from those who walk away when they finally do
because
research.
You get that hype where people are just like, oh my God, and they insta-back for me. And then a week later they're like, wait a minute, I don't even like this type of game. I'm not backing this. And then they drop out. So, yeah, I definitely get what you're saying. I used to really like just kind of the bonuses with Kickstarter and stuff, and I still like bonuses that come with Kickstarter and upgrades, but I definitely have leaned away from the early backer thing because a lot of times we're not going to back it until after we talk about it on the show, so we almost always miss those.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Because we still finalize some of our decisions on the show. I mean, that's why we're all here, so that we can talk about it, go through it, get your opinion, get Greg's opinion for whatever that's worth, get her opinion, me and her can kind of talk out our thoughts about the game, like, here with you guys, and go more in depth with it. Then, normally if it was just us and we weren't doing the show, it'd be like, hey, did you see that Warp's Edge? Oh, no, I haven't looked at it. Well, it sounds cool. It's a solo game. And then she'd be like, oh, cool. Maybe I'll take a look at it. And then we might forget.
Right.
Or whatever. Or she'll be like, oh, yeah, cool. I backed it. that's it. Like, there wouldn't be a whole huge conversation about it. But with you guys, we could have this big conversation, like kind of delve deep into it and then discuss why and why not and all these different things. And I really enjoy that process.
Oh, absolutely. It's an awesome process.
You can't ask the cat more. That cat is ridiculous.
She's so crazy.
Since her mom has been helping out her mom and not home as much, the cat is like obsessive,
insanely
even more
needy.
obsessive. Yeah,
super needy, guys.
She's even like when I'm at work, you know, when I'm working from home, which is a couple times a week, she's all over me too, and I'm just like, you need to get off my computer.
You need
right
to
now.
calm down, kitty.
I got to enter some stuff. Like, get off my computer.
All right, so game of the week. It was a short week, guys. It was.
Yeah.
We still have not had the ramp up. There will be a ramp up. January, end of January is probably,
that
I think,
December,
where
January
it'll start
can
coming
be
in.
pretty slow.
Yeah, December, January is super rough. Just
people
super
are
rough.
poor if they
No,
participate in Christmas.
people just aren't paying attention because they're doing the holiday stuff, you know? And then early January, people are recovering from the holiday stuff because they're like, oh my God, I spent so much stuff over the holidays.
So do you think it's because early January people have resolutions like, I'm not going to spend as much money on Kickstarter, but then by February they just
and they're like,
up.
oh my God.
Like, they're like, I cancel my gym membership and I'm just going to buy
Awaken
more
Realms.
games.
Just drop something. I'm backing it.
Yeah, I think that's what happens. They know.
Oh yes, Alder Quest is back, by the way. I have not looked at their new campaign. I don't know if anything changed on it, but I did see it back. Yes, thank you for letting us know.
Which is definitely something to bring up. We don't bring those back onto the show because we already kind of discussed it, but that doesn't mean we don't go back and look at it and maybe even end up backing it sometimes.
And mentioning, too, whenever they end up coming back up, because I know there were some other ones that we did that, too, as well. And what else was I going to say? I was going to say something else. I don't remember, guys. I
am pretty pumped about Warp's Edge, though.
Yeah, me too. That's what it was. That is my game of this week, Warp's Edge.
Definitely.
I'm 100% down. I'm down with it. Yep. And Pacific Rails just launched too. Oh, I know. I got to go look at that as well.
Here's the deal. What we need to do is find a charismatic leader to take over Kickstarter and get rid of all these faulty practices and gerrymandering. That's what we need. We need to elect a...
I don't think that's going to happen. We need a federation. Do we need to elect a federation
we need to
for the
form
Kickstarter?
A federation of Kickstarter, loosely associated Kickstarter countries. So that
Federation,
we can,
LLC, Kickstarter.
Yes, of
I'd
course.
back that. Yeah.
Loosely affiliated,
Yeah. Okay.
of course.
I think we can probably make that happen. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll control Kickstarter, and we won't abuse our power.
No, not at all. Never.
Oh, I'll abuse it.
Well, thank you, everybody who joined us today. We appreciate all of your comments and chat. We will be back next week with more Kickstarters, and we're going to be dropping some other stuff as well. We're hoping to get back to a full schedule of content and everything for you guys.
We got some games to talk about.
We got a
here in
ton
the
of
near
stuff.
future. We played that big, huge collector's edition of Suburbia, and we played Detective City of Angels and 5, 2, and 1 and Azul Stained Glass.
And if you guys want to see
Unmatched.
The Crew, we did a playthrough of that with the Game Boy Geek, Dan. So if you want to check that out,
we did that. That was like the last show we did before the break. And
That's right. It's a great game. I love it.
Yeah, I would honestly, if you pick up only... I don't want to say if you pick up only one game a year because that's ridiculous, but if you like trick-taking games, even in the slightest, it's a really good game, and it's really nice that it's co-op. The only drawback is that it's 3 players. There is a 2-player variant, which we haven't played.
It's not just 3-player?
Well, there's a 2-player variant, but it's meant for 3 or more.
Oh, okay, right. Okay,
Sorry,
I was like, what are you talking about?
Which for us can always be difficult because it's really easy to play 2-player, obviously.
I thought that's why we had
3 is you have to get another person. We
had
a
player
child
3
for that reason.
Specifically to meet our 3-player criteria.
But it doesn't always work out. But we'll probably play Raccoon Tycoon today. So
that's right. All right, guys. We will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful holiday season, all right? Thank you.